Gentlemen, welcome back to a quick update as to what's been going down with our project. We've been working very hard. Luba, what have you been doing?
I was putting all the contacts that I was collecting for 10 years in one place. I was putting all the agencies that I know, I was putting all the hotels, restaurants, and I want to make sure that the database of these places will be very convenient to use, and you will have no problem traveling between the cities, because a lot of guys think, how would I go to Poltava if I actually how to get there and what will I do there? So I want to make sure that it's easy for them.
Yeah, the idea, part of what we're doing, is we want it to be like hassle-free, you know, and I know what it's like because I've gone over there and I've done it myself, and it can be so frustrating, man, like trying to use like these Russian websites and trying to figure out what's the good place to go. And I remember one time I was trying to figure out, I wanted to find a rooftop restaurant, you know, for like I had this thing this date in my mind. And it took so long to try and figure this out, going through all these on your phone and bad Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So that was a problem that I had, and I had it multiple times, not just with that, but also transport. I remember you organised a car for me one time. Do you remember?
Yes, from Dnipro.
Yeah, and it was so hard for me to try and organise that myself.
Yeah, because it's not like you can just call a taxi sometimes and do this transportation between the cities, but...
Yeah, and most guys get ripped off anyway. Like if the car that you tried to get for me, or I tried to get and you got, it'd be a completely different price. So, and these little things can just be such a pain. You know,
and even like when I started my mission, like my Wingwoman mission, I was at the beginning working only in Odessa, and then I started going to different cities. And even for like a local, it was difficult because you don't know which hotel to stay, how far it's from different places. And I just decided it would be so convenient to put it all together. Because again, as I said, like it's just stop guys from going to different cities. They just say, I will just stay in Kyiv, it's easier. Yeah. But no, I don't want. I want them to be able to travel. Go out. Yeah, and
so we want to have well, that's what I've been building while Luba's been doing that. It's basically like a directory, I suppose, like any other directory that you would see online, where you can choose the city, you can choose the restaurant, you can choose the activity, whatever it is, knowing that either Luba has vouched for it or she's used it or something like that, and you're not going to get ripped off. We also want, like many other directories online, we want the other members to rate their experience. Give it a 5-star for service. Was it legit? Did anything bad happen? And write a review. Because of course you can go and search these things online, but if you put yourself in the position that you're trying to do it, you have to try and find it, and then you've got to close that tab, you've got to go to another tab, you've got to Google it, you've got to read the reviews, you've got to figure out where these people who made the reviews are from. Are they from the West or whatever? And honestly, man, like when you're trying to date, these little things can cause so much frustration, man. They're so bad. Like unless you want to just have a real basic thing where you go out for dinner and come back home, which we don't want you to do that. We want you to have an unbelievable experience and impress the woman that you are with, and make sure you don't get ripped off. And when you go home, you're just absolutely blown away by the service and everything. And we want to put that in a place, which is in our system that we're building, that you can access really easily.
Exactly, it's what I was just trying to say as well, because a lot of guys, when I do a coaching call, they say, but how should I do, what should I do? I said, please, just like my biggest advice is to be a leader of the relationship, always. And the guys say, but you know, it's like I'm in a different country, I don't speak the language, and how should I go to the restaurant, which restaurant to choose? And so like the guys almost getting scammed by the scam restaurant by themselves, by asking the girl, where should we go, like which restaurant do you want? But if the guy would say, we are going to this certain restaurant, it's a good restaurant, so you 100% sure that no matter what the girl tell, oh, you know, I got poison there or whatever, it's a bullshit. And so you would know that this restaurant is recommended by us, it's a good place, so you will feel very comfortable, very confident, right?
Yeah. See, there is some sort of, I guess, discussion, or like I've had discussions before in Ukraine Fusion or in my comments, and people say, well, you know, just sort it out yourself, you know, you're the man, sort it out yourself. And you can sort it out yourself. And I just want to share a little story. So this was when I'd taken a woman that I was dating. It was a proper relationship, and we went to Kyiv. Went to Odessa from Kyiv, and then we stayed there for a week, and it was time to go home. And I wanted to do something special. We could have just flown home, but that was boring. But I wanted to think of something that was a little bit unusual that she would remember, right? So we were sitting like by the pool, and I was on my phone, like trying to figure. I wanted to hire like a nice car, right?
He would never guess how nice.
Yeah, well, just a nice car. And so I'm looking, and it's like, I can't read this. She's sitting next to me going, what are you doing on your phone? I'm going, nothing. So of course she's thinking that like I'm chatting to other women. And it's just like, oh, man, I just want to be sitting here and just hanging out with her, but I want to surprise her as well. And Luba and I were friends then, but we weren't, super close friends there. I don't think I would have normally have asked you to sort of do something for me. But I text Luba and I just said, get me a nice car and I need to pick me up at this time here to go here. Within like 7 minutes, she texted me back and said the car's basically going to come pick up at this time here. I'm going to put champagne in the back of it and I'm going to put some snacks in the back of it. It's all organised, don't worry about it. So anyway, when the car turns up, it's like a stretched white limousine. And it had champagne in the back, it had everything in the back. And the price was so cheap. If I'd tried to get it, it would have been at least double, I think, as soon as they... And they didn't even believe you that somebody wanted to take a limousine from...
He was like, are you sure? But the guy really, he knew me and...
But it was so cheap, it was like almost the same price as flying back. For us to fly back, maybe $100 more. It was like
I think when you told one guy, he said that it's the price of a taxi from the airport to his house that he's taking. I think in New York or somewhere. Yeah, so it was really cheap and it was an amazing time and it was organised like that. And I couldn't have done it otherwise without really getting her to go away for a couple of hours while I try and do it. So and by putting this into it, that's coming from my own experience of having Luba or somebody do that for me or help me with that. And we want to create those experiences for our members. Just it could be something so small like a place that has a band on the roof or something, So we want to help you find all of those places. And have great experiences. That's what it's all about, making it easy. And it's not about like asking somebody, because a lot of guys thinking, oh, should I ask? Like, what? Like I don't feel like complete if I ask somebody to help me. It's completely fine to ask somebody for help, especially if it is not your lady and she doesn't know about that, and you don't have to say, oh, I have that Luba or I have that Masha who is helping me. So it's all organized by you. You know this context. You have these agencies. You have these restaurants and hotels, and there is no problem for you to arrange it by themselves. Also, there are going to be links that because I find it confusing when I was looking for that. So on the website, to go to English version, most of the website, like all the hotels, they have it, but for some reason they say it in Russian, so it's hard to find. And so the links will be already in English for you there.
And I'll just add one more thing to that story before. If I had asked her, can you please help me with this, it would have changed her view of who I was. The fact that I said, the car's going to be here, so don't worry about it, just relax, and then that turns up, the impression that she has of me is a lot different than if I said, I'm trying to organise a nice car for us, can you help me out here? I'm fumbling about. The impression that she had was, holy shit, like this guy knows what he's doing, And that's what we want to create for you guys, okay? Because we know back home everything's fine, you can organise whatever it is, but really when you come over here, sometimes things can be a little bit tricky. But that's what we're building at the moment anyway, so just the update on what is happening.
Follow us, subscribe the channel, and see for updates soon.
Also one other thing, if you are interested in what we're building, send us an email below. I said that last time and we got a bunch of people. Now, what we're probably going to do is just have some people when we first launch it, and we're going to email those guys first because we either know them or they've shown interest in the project, or they're coming over in the next 2 to 4 months. If that's you, let us know, because we're only going to have a small amount first, and they're going to go in there and they're going to test it and they're going to make sure that they get the best service before we launch it. And because the last thing we want is people to obviously be upset with anything. So that's it for now.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you later.
Bye bye.